Hi guys, happy Friday. How are you? I am still working on a bigger project as you all know and um things just keep popping up. I mean, honestly, there's so many dumb biatches lately. It's just like what in the world has it been like a total twat shower out there? I mean, and so I must expose the twats because there's an issue. In today's episode of Twats Gone Bad, People Who Shouldn't Have Bred, apparently somebody thought that it'd be a real good idea to saran wrap their toddler because, they were doing all kinds of bad things. They were sticking a fork in the electrical socket and getting in the oven and stuff. So, what's the normal stay at home mom supposed to do? Wait until her military Marine man husband comes home, stays in uniform, and saran wraps the pluck out of this saran, out of this baby, and then, throws him around in bed playing worm, face down. Because that's the way to teach a kid to not put a fork in an electric socket and play with the oven. As opposed to this bitch just simply watching her child and redirecting and making sure that there aren't stray forks for said toddler to grab. And how about doing those things that you do when, you're pregnant, you get that nesting urge, and you child-proof your freaking house? There's these little things that you put in the electric sockets. They're plastic, okay? You put them in there so that kids don't do this. There's a lot of us walking around who used to stick all kinds of stuff in electric sockets, and look at us. We're not doing so great these days, okay? Since then, they made those. So, they're at any Target, Walmart, probably even in some grocery stores. That's what you do. You don't think, I'll wait and then we'll saran wrap him about the torso. Saran wrapping him so tight that his arms are down. I can't imagine that this poor kid is not going to feel for the rest of his life like he's got some kind of weird claustrophobia and can't frickin' figure out why. I can't. My drunk hippie parents were at my grandmother's cabin house, and I didn't know this until I was in my 20s. I used to have these nightmares all the time about not being able to breathe and being underwater and having to fight that urge where I wanted to take that breath in, but I knew it would hurt. And then that feeling of hurting as I'm taking the water in and knowing that it hurts and all of that. And couldn't figure it out. I'd go into dream books, what does it mean to feel like you're underwater drowning? And it means stress, that, your body is feeling like you're overwhelmed with water and stress. And okay, it's about that. So one day, at grandma's funeral, years down the road, I didn't grow up with my family, as we all know on my channel, grew up through fosters, but my uncle was at my grandmother's funeral and was talking about when my two drunk hippie parents were, on a fight on the beach at my grandmother's cabin. And I just walked right off the end of a dock. When I was about 13 months old, I started walking very early because my hippie parents weren't adept at doing anything. So I had to, start learning how to cook for myself at 8 months. But anyway, I walked off the end of the pier, and that's what it was. They had to go and find me because I was actively drowning. No one mentioned that. So no matter what dream book I got, didn't make sense until I was in my 20s. What's this poor kid gonna think? Okay. Apparently, there are some kind of weird influencers, as they're calling this bitch an influencer, and she has all of these cute little trendy hashtags like, Marine wife, influencer, stay-at-home mom, all this stuff. And it said that these moms are doing these stupid things for views. Okay? Don't. If you ever think, you know what, my kid isn't learning right, and so I'm going to saran wrap the shit out of him when my husband gets home, and then I'm going to film it and put it on the TikTok for views, and then maybe back it up on like some other social media. Don't fucking do it. Okay? CPS rightly so, took this kid away from them. And I don't want them to get their kid back. If they have all of the things wrong in their head, your head is like a little pinball machine, right? And it's got this brain inside. And before you do something stupid, it's supposed to go through these checks and balances, right? Like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do that? Bing, 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 bing. Right and left brain, right and left brain, right and left brain, right? The pinball went all the way through both of these adults' minds. One of them is a United States Marine. Okay, that's our defense system, people. That somebody thinks that this is right? This is worse than waterboarding. This is disgusting. And if they thought that this would be a cute little TikTok thing to catch on with everybody else, what else are they doing with this kid that they didn't know was wrong? And this bitch says, the headline here, and she says, I didn't know what we did to our son was bad until cops knocked at our door. Because on the interweb, when they put this up, people rightfully called the police. Somebody called child services. This is what you do. I've seen some disgusting things in how all of the arguments over, the idiots who are on social media right now that go and they have their side and their side call the cops and whatnot and tie up 911 lines. That's not appropriate, but this is. If you ever see anybody doing something to a child that does not look right, go with your gut. Have other people check it out. Don't think, oh, because they're a big TikToker and they're an influencer, and this man's a United States Marine wearing his uniform, he wouldn't be that stupid to do something so bad on camera. Now would he? Because they're an influencer. No, go with your gut because they're wrong. And thank God somebody took that kid. I don't want them to get it back. Honestly, a comment that's been highlighted is somebody says that they were on a jury where somebody did this to their child and they got 5 years in prison. I can't, like I say, when you guys see this, trigger warning, okay? If you only want to listen to me just ranting, that's fine too. But if you got to walk away from this one, I totally get it. There's not going to be any joking in here because this is freaking ridiculous, okay? So, trigger warning, idiots ahead. This dumb twat says, I didn't know what we did with our son was bad until cops knocked at our door. So let's see her. And she's been crying. Now, the thing is that people notice that this baby isn't like, I love being surrounded, No. Okay. His face is red. His nose is ruddy. So he'd obviously been crying. And they got him to calm down enough so that they could do this video. Okay. I have a problem with people who put their children on social media as clowns, their pets, their children, that they command to do things. If an animal or a child is doing something in their natural environment and you think it's cute, okay, that's fine. But sitting there, say this, do this, it's wrong. Okay, we have a lot of people that we focus on my channel that we highlight that have done these stupid things. Children have rights too, and shouldn't there be labor laws? Like a child, if you're using your child to get views, well then they're working it, and they ought to get model rights, and you should put money away per hour in a savings account, because that's what they're going to need to have to do to make these idiots stop this. Now, there's going to be some idiot who's going to come along and say, well, I know that babies get wrapped real tight like that when they're born, and babies like that. No. That is called swaddling. That is something that is done very early when the child is born, as the baby likes to feel kind of more in the womb, because they were just in this, this whole ass child just came out of, opening the size of a cantaloupe, and they're the size of a watermelon. So they were folded up inside of a watermelon. So when they, are out, they just kind of feel kind of exposed, and they're like, So you'll find that if you swaddle the baby properly, and there is a proper way to swaddle, that, they sleep better, and you cuddle them, you swaddle them when you're feeding them, bottle or breast, whichever way you'd like to feed your baby. Then you swaddle them to so they sleep, and they sleep on their back now because we found that face down had a lot of connotation that maybe that was causing SIDS. If you look at the statistics and look at, some of the other factors that were happening in the home where babies have died of SIDS, and you tease it out, did any babies actually ever die from that? Or was it a heart condition? Anyway, okay, we have the Back to Sleep campaign. Now, there are swaddling little Velcro things from the Halo system, because the man who developed the whole Halo system had a child who died of SIDS, and he developed the Halo bassinet, which is amazing. I wish I could have had one when I was raising my 6 kidlets, but I didn't. It wasn't out yet. I am from the days where we had the one wicker bassinet from yesteryear that we put a big lacy thing on, but 80s baby. So they have the Halo one. So there's foolproof ways to swaddle for bed so that there's no loose clothing and stuff like that. And still, we're talking very little. So a newborn will, but I saw the kid get, well, maybe the baby was a preemie, so his corrected age wasn't there, and I mean, really, you can really only do the swaddling until, about maybe like the 2-week mark, when then you really see that they feel a little bit more confident moving their little arms and stuff like this. This is not the same as swaddling in any way, shape, or form. Do not restrict a child's movement in any way, shape, or form unless you're swaddling for what I've done, because I know that some idiot's going to come out there and escape from their village, and we're going to put that village idiot back where it belongs, because we just explained that is not swaddling. And without further ado, here we go. Let's see what she says here. Okay. Oh, shit, I muted her. Sorry about that, ma'am. Here, try it one more time.
Has been taken from us until CPS can evaluate our home, because I posted a video of my husband.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so here's this Marine. Is he wearing gloves? What the fuck is he wearing gloves for? Do you see? They have the baby's face blurred, and this says it over it. They put this in there and says, he was only in the plastic for less than 5 minutes and at no point was upset. Okay, do you see the amount of saran wrap that they put on this baby? Do you know that you can do Christmas trees in that way? Just a little side note. If you do this to a Christmas tree, you go and you get a big old thing of cellophane from Costco or wherever you get the big old thing, maybe on Amazon, and you put it on your Christmas tree, and you start at the top, and then you leave your ornaments on it and everything, and you go down just like this, just real tight like this, and then you have the ornaments on, and then you put it like a bullet downstairs, you put it in the stairs, and you put it in your little basement, and then you put it back up, you bring it back up, and then you take off the saran wrap and let it go, and all of your stuff is there for the next year. They've had that on the news. Maybe this bitch got confused between her Christmas tree and her child, because this is not okay. Never in the history of mankind has there ever been anybody who says, so she went from below his neck, so right there at the neck, to his knees. His arms are in front, and this was obviously forcefully put in multiple layers. Can you imagine the heat, the inability, to sweat that out, the panic that poor baby has had, and this dip fuck is sitting there. God.
So strewn away.
Oh, it's strewn away. No, you dumbass. You did that. You did that. You didn't know it was wrong till the cops knocked at your door. Well, it's good that the cops knocked on the door. It's good that CPS took. And like I say, this military man standing him up while she's filming, and then he's pushing him down, face down, being like, he's a worm. Ha ha. He's a worm. And this child's supposed to have the takeaway moment of, I shouldn't stick a fork in the electrical socket or play with the oven again. Okay, keep babbling.
There's 2 people thinking that we were abusing our child.
A devastated mom is going viral after revealing that her son was taken away by Child Protective Services over a TikTok video. No, over her wrapping a child like a Christmas tree with Saran wrap. It is not that she's going to have this put out because of a TikTok video. Why can't anybody in our society understand where blame goes? Okay? Her actions are not because she did a video, it is because she did this to her child. Oh, well, what do we know here? Savannah Glenben, so we must have a United States Marine Glenben here, who boasts 1.1 million followers on TikTok, claims a video where she wrapped her son in plastic wrap, raised eyebrows with CPS. Did a little bit more than raise the eyebrows. They took the child. 1.1 million people were seeing this. I just feel like it is my duty to get it out there to don't do this. Don't do this, because then I'm going to tell you this. There was some bitch in, God, was she in Georgia? There's a lot of weirdos in Georgia, I think. Just kidding. I know a lot of people in Georgia and I love you, but just right now, your idiots are loose and you got to get them back. She put masking tape over her dog's mouth, snout, the area. I don't want to, because if I say it just on his mouth, you would think the dog lips, and I don't know that dogs actually have lips, or I don't know, but like the snout area and everything. She did that because the dog wouldn't stop barking, and put it on Facebook a few years ago. And it was detestable. It was absolutely disgusting. A lot of people called animal services and whatnot. They came and they did not remove the dog. They just told her that, hey, let's not do that. In so doing, people created petitions and whatnot so that this bitch would get her dog taken from her because it's disgusting, and she wouldn't back down. She said that's how she teaches her dog. That's how she's trained him. That's how she's always trained him. Put duct tape over its snout, close it so it won't bark. Well, these idiots were doing these pro duct taping your dog's mouth videos and showing that it's something you do because they saw some other idiot doing it. Like I say, I'm really afraid. And then, people are bringing up the thing like, okay, the child's going to suffocate. Well, because, some moron's going to put it around their head too. Or somebody who, like as a teenager, is we babysitting or whatever and saw that some moron did it on TikTok. We need to send a fast, furious message out. And, hasn't Trump said that he wants to ban TikTok? Well, we obviously need to if there's idiot stuff like this going on. Oh, my God. In her emotional response, Glenben continued to insist her son was laughing and having fun while wrapped up. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. It's not funny. It's not funny. There was no laughter. That it's not a funny thing to make a child immobilized to feel. Oh, wonderful. Our system. Great. In a follow-up video, Savannah revealed that her son had been returned home and that CPS cleared us of wrongdoing. What? Okay. I do this kind of stuff. I go through this with you because I don't look ahead. I didn't look ahead. Now I've got a whole new thing to be mad at. The CPS give them back their kid after this. You don't clear somebody of wrongdoing. It's criminal child abuse. What the? He belongs. But few in the comments took her. Okay. That was a punishment, not a game of 1 minute he was laughing. And this is the problem with it. And this chick right here, this Emma Hellis, is very smart. The bitch said it was a punishment. She said he was naughty all day long. This is what you have to do to a toddler when they're naughty all day long. He was putting a fork in the electrical socket. He was playing with the oven. He was naughty all day long. That there, in her own words, proves that she did that as a punishment, as a consequence. It's not a game. I don't see how this game or anything else would teach that child a lesson. It's disgusting, should never be. And why did CPS give them their baby back? In a lot of states, when a baby is taken, they have 1 month. It's a minimum 1 month once the babies are removed. They need a lot more guidance. God, I can't believe they gave the baby back. What the? And this Rachel Martin says, I'm sorry, but why? Why would you ever think that's okay? Exactly. Okay, he did look in distress. Sorry, he looks terrified. Don't apologize. It's factual. Okay, New York Post. All right. I'm going to have a freaking stroke now. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go double up on my blood pressure pills. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see what else we can find out here about this dumbass. Our son has been taken from us until CPR can evaluate our home because I posted a video of my husband and son playing. This is the thing, is that she doesn't get it. She's a sociopath. She's not taking responsibility. Why would you take the child, then reward her by giving it back when she's saying, well, I didn't know. Our son has been taken from us, blah, 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 blah. Because I posted a video of my husband and son playing. She thinks that's what it is. You understand how there's a cognitive dissonance in this bitch? She is not understanding. And then it says, that's how Savannah Glenben begins her most recent video addressing backlash she's faced in the last 48 hours. She continues, he was laughing and smiling and it was just a funny thing. But the disturbing footage the mom's talking about has attracted the concern of millions. Savannah has now made her account private because so many accounts stitched commentary to the original video, we can piece together what's happened. Okay, let's go here. In a stitch by Aunt. Oh, hold on. I think we've got a Karen here. We go. Oh, shit. Hold on. Sorry. You know me. I'm old as shit and I'm not very good at my computer. In a stitch by Aunt Karen. Okay, here we have a Karen. Okay. Oftentimes we need a Karen for situations like this, okay? Sometimes it's not warranted, like the kinds that, we see in the other things, but sometimes an Aunt Karen is needed. Aunt Karen says, we can watch some of the original video that Savannah posted. Oh, I see. In a stitch by Aunt Karen, we can watch some of the original video that Savannah posted. Okay, Aunt Karen, thank you. Aunt Karen gives her views a trigger warning at the beginning that says, in red, this feels like abuse. Savannah's video shows her husband pushing their toddler on their bed. The boy, who looks to be around 2, and whom she has subsequently revealed is called Gunnar, is tightly wrapped from the neck down in cling film. Okay. Wonder what this I wonder what the Marines think of their Marine in uniform doing this. Why is he wearing plastic gloves to do this? No fingerprints if shit goes wrong? I mean, what? Why is he wearing gloves? Why is he then wearing gloves to handle this baby in cling wrap? This makes no sense to me. This makes no freaking sense. This is senseless. Okay, the baby's not crying now. He's being lifted up. So he's being lifted up. And then this is where the dad, puts him down on the bed and lifts him up and down, face down, and says, oh, you're a worm. You're a worm. Again, it's a punishment. It's a consequence for being naughty during the day. You don't correct a behavior at a different time and then say it's a game. And look at the amount of saran wrap on this child. And I don't want anybody saying, well, they're young. Don't you dare. Remember, I was knocked up. I was too big for my desk as a junior in high school. Okay. As a junior in high school, they had, those in the 80s, they had those desks that there's the one person with that little cutout that's the oval. And, when I got pregnant and I was just, 86 pounds as a junior, that those desks were big and roomy. But by the time I had a big ass 8-pound baby boy inside of me, I could not sit in my desk. I had to sit to the side. I overachieved in home ec, supposed to learn how to make a cake. I made a 8-pound baby boy. But you know what? In home ec, I also took home ec, sewing 1, and then advanced sewing. I made all of his crib stuff in home ec. Okay? So I used my school to be making my nursery. Thank you. And I graduated on time the next year, carrying a 1-year-old on my hip. I have 2 bachelor's degrees, so don't tell me it's from being young. Okay? I've been taking care of kids since I was a kid, literally. And this has nothing to do with a young parent. These like, they look like they're 26, 28-ish. So don't say it's because they're young parents, because I'm gonna jump your ass about that, because us OG teen moms, we don't do this kind of stuff. Never, 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 never. So let's see here. Completely immobile with his arms strapped to his sides, he falls to his knees as tears start welling in his eyes. Gunnar appears completely terrified as he topples over onto his back. Savannah's husband, who is in army uniform. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought that was Marine. It's been a while since I have seen a man in uniform. And doesn't that... Why did I thought Marines? What does that say on his name thing? I thought that says Marines, or is that his Latin? No, that does not say... That says Marines, doesn't it? I mean, he's in his camouflage dungarees, which I thought that's Marine. I think that says Marines. I swear I thought I said Marine. Let me see here. Let me see. It says who is in his army uniform. I mean, if there was any doubt, this reporter should have put military. I thought Marine. I thought Marine, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me see here. I married a sailor, so if that explains anything, I understand the blue, not much else. Let's see. Savannah's husband, who is in his army uniform, smiles as he maneuvers the boy around in rubber gloves. That's my whole thing, rubber gloves. Savannah is heard in the background. Oh, Boo, please don't. Please don't. Sorry, my cat's going to walk on my laptop because he thinks I need to go take a nap with him and he gets mad. Boo, no, please. No, please. No. Savannah is heard in the background. If you have a grumpy toddler all day, this is the only way. No, Bish, it isn't. She then focuses on her dog for the next part of the video, laughing while zooming in on it jumping up and down on the bed. The text on screen reads, Butters making her cinematic entrance. Please, boo boo. Okay, see, there you go. That frickin' says U.S. Marines. This is, are you just reading with Mama? This is why you can't believe anything in the freaking news these days. Because, like I said, that's why I saw Marines. I thought I saw it on TikTok, but it is in here, right here. It says U.S. Marines. And in this article, it says he's wearing an army uniform. Well, that would be problematic if he's Marine wearing an army uniform, wouldn't it be? And this is from where? The New York Post. So reporters from the New York Post can't even get shit straight. What is wrong with... This is why I do what I do, because you cannot believe the headlines. You have to get between the black and the white and the gray. It's all in the gray. It's all in the backstory. Okay? That's why they call me Backstory Tabby. Okay, well, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. He's a worm, Gunnar's father jokes. Okay. No, that's not funny. Well, his face is blurred. He does not look to be laughing. How would you feel if you were saran wrapped? He's being placed face down on the bed. It is a natural human reaction to put your arms out as you are falling, going forward, otherwise being placed downwards. So his natural body reflexes are trying to do what they want to do. And if you notice, this big Marine has his arms held as well as he is doing this. I mean, they could have broken his arm, anything else. How did they get him immobilized and hold him down? They had to have held him down to keep his arms at his side to do this. So he must have either trusted them enough. This is breaking trust. This is not nurturing. This is not how to raise a baby. This is not how to raise a child. He's a worm, he jokes. So he's a Marine and he doesn't know the difference. Wonderful. Then, as the little boy lies still on the bed, he lets out a small groan as if he's in pain. Yeah, I bet. After the video ends, Aunt Karen says, "I don't see what's funny here. I don't understand how putting your toddler in an uncomfortable position is funny, then posting it for views. Not only did you just do this for your own entertainment, you thought this was going to be everybody's entertainment." And see, that's the problem. Okay? This is why I don't like family channels like this, because they will go to any length for views. That's the truth. Oh, Lord, I just got distracted here. The Shocking Life of Paris Hilton's man-eater grandma, Big Kathy. What the? Like what? Ante. Okay, now look at this baby. Wrapped in that. His neck could get snapped. I can't. This is how something terrible happens. And then they go and, hide the baby's body and go out and say their baby's missing, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, yeah, what did you do to that baby? Doing something stupid. And then the country comes out, puts all of its resources into finding this baby. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but it's because idiot people do stuff like this and it goes wrong. His neck could have easily been snapped. I can't, the thought of this happening to me gives me the frickin' willies, okay? I just imagine that for a moment, just that suffocating feeling of being immobilized. It says viewers also took to the comments to share their concerns. My anxiety when he fell forward, I was like, oh my God, he's going to suffocate. Me too. That's what I would think too, because his head is turned there, but if it wasn't and he was straight down, he would not be able to be moving his head enough out to get back out of the pillow and down without the upper body thing. Do they do this to him? Do they put him alone? Do they, what is the backstory of how often this happens? Is this something they do to him? If he does this, do they shake a little bit of saran wrap at him and he knows to not do the things they said? This is just freaking ridiculous. And then it says, another replied, he's been crying, his nose is red. Yep. And a third mentioned, he's likely to feel terribly overheated. I can only imagine the struggle and how aggressive it must have been to wrap him up that tightly. Exactly. I can't imagine. That is restraint. We don't put restraints on people who are extremely out of control in a police setting. We still have to have extreme regulations, film the event, make sure that, the person is not ever too immobilized in a hospital setting, in a criminal justice system, in anything like that. We still cannot restrain an adult who has done something terrible in anything like this. This is disgusting, and these people should not have gotten their kid right back. This needs to take, and cleared of any wrongdoing. That's problematic as well. No. And then it says, in response to the criticism, Savannah released a statement. She wrote, I made the biggest mistake of my life posting this video. No, bitch, you did the biggest mistake of your life by thinking this was a good idea, not posting the video. The posting the video was not the problem, and this is what this bitch does not understand. It is not that you posted the video, and until she and he get that through their system and write it on a chalkboard 800 times, they should not be in a position to be taking care of that poor child again. Genuinely and truly, he was laughing and smiling and was out of the plastic in under 5 minutes. Oh. So now we time things between our cinematic takes. As you said, your dog made his cinematic appearance. Did you have to do take 1, take 2, and take 3 until he could stop crying and be good for it, and tell him that he'd get a lollipop if you'd stop crying and allowed this TikTok video to go so she'd get some views? Disgusting. And it says, but viewers didn't buy it. She said posting it was the biggest mistake of her life. Not actually doing it. Wow, one observed. Exactly. Another said that a simple statement like this wasn't going to cut it. And this person says, I was on a jury where the parents did this to their child and they got 5 years in prison. Okay? I'm not kidding. The military is going to need to answer for their representation of a Marine doing this to a child on TikTok. She's bawling, but the tears don't do anything. Where were the... No. Nope. And it says, and a few felt sorry for the couple by saying they clearly need help. They need a brain transplant. After not receiving the response she hoped for, Savannah turned her account to private. Oh, poor Savannah. But after the public backlash continued and Child Protection Services allegedly intervened, she returned with a tear-filled follow-up video. She also shared the comment that prompted her to give an update to her followers. It read, the kid was taken for that? That's terrible. I hope things turn out well for the family. So people think that that's a trivial thing to do? We're in trouble, folks. We're in trouble. And here she goes again. That video was skewed in a way and resulted in brackets, people thinking we were abusing our child. But he was laughing and smiling, and it was just a funny thing Hank, her husband, did because Gunnar was getting into the stove that day and tried putting a fork in a socket. Hank playfully wrapped him in cling wrap. He had room to move, looked like a little cucumber. At no point was he in distress or crying. We would never hurt our son. He is the best thing that's ever happened to us. That may be true, that last thing, but I don't believe that he was in no distress, and I don't believe that he was not crying. You can see that what he had been previously, and there is no way, from being a mother of 6, knowing that, toddlers move a lot, okay? They're wild, and if you try to pick them up when they're not willing, they can make themselves be like a 400-pound piece of cement. Usually happens in grocery stores when they're like screaming and throwing a tantrum. Try and pick them up, and they're like, ugh. So, they are strong, and they're going to fight you back. There is no way that they would have been able to get both arms by his side and do that without the kid screaming and freaking the F out. No way. No way. No way. No way. No how. The response that got, I didn't know that someone had thought it was bad until yesterday when the cops showed up at our house and separated us, his family. Okay, this is the problem. She still did not know that it was wrong until the police and CPS came. So she did this, went through the whole act of doing this, posting it, had backlash, and had no idea that it was wrong until the cops come. Is there a place in our society now that we have to wait until it rises to a police issue? So the police have to knock on your door and say, what you're doing is wrong, disgusting, otherwise not acceptable. Don't do this. Or what happened to her common sense button? Was it turned off that day? And why is he wearing gloves? That's my thing. Oh, Lord. And then it says, we went down and made our statements thinking Gunnar was going to be returned to us that day. And she says, all I can say is that my son is so loved and cherished. He is my miracle baby. He was my 4th pregnancy after 3 miscarriages. He is the light of my life. With that being said, I'm glad that you got your rainbow baby, ma'am. However, that does not take away from the terrible judgment that you appear to have as it pertains to raising your child now. We made a mistake and we don't deserve our child taken away because of it. That is not a mistake, okay? A mistake is when you forget to turn on your turn signal and you make a left anyway. A mistake is when you forget to turn the oven off. A mistake is not holding down your toddler and wrapping him in a massive amount of cling wrap and throwing him on the bed and waiting obviously till he's not crying and filming it and posting it and then think the only thing you did wrong is post it, because whatever happens behind those doors, apparently it's fine till something goes wrong. Like I say, that child's neck could have been broken easily. No way. The response to Savannah's video were mixed. Many continue to tell the mom, the internet will never forget, while other supporters maintained, I believe she really is sorry. Sorry for posting, as she says. I just said that. The thing didn't say that. She seems genuinely upset, one viewer noted, but added they both need parenting classes to understand the damage they've done. According to this clip, Gunner is now home where he belongs. What's the answer to this? You know that I all have frustration as the situation that I'm very concerned about in Azerbaijan. As I brought attention to, I can't talk about it without, risking getting another slap on the hand for discussing childhood things that shouldn't happen. But TikTok took all of that awareness out of that about that child. That I still have my video up about. But TikTok doesn't allow any talk of awareness for a child that is obviously being abused, and so TikTok needs to at least deplatform this and probably stop allowing anything with children in it. That, I mean, then how do you do it? Because then there's the kids that you want to show, graduating from kindergarten and stuff. I don't know. I'm older. My kids are grown, so I didn't grow up in the digital age. Obviously, in the end of it, my kids are teens, and I was still pretty careful. I mean, there's things out there, but I still was limited in, not letting my kids post exactly where they were until the next day, things like that. Not tagging them if I was, somewhere. I don't know. I was, never mentioning when we're on vacation until we're back home. Things like that. I mean, because you want to see, oh yeah, because it is refreshing and fun to see children having a good time, enjoying the earth, really enjoying themselves, and seeing kids pick flowers in the spring. It's those things. So you can't really not show children, but when you have things like this go on, it something has to be done, because for her to think this is right, she's obviously seeing something else. And if she has over 1 million views and whatnot on her, or 1 million subscribers, whatever it is on TikTok, then that means that she's seen it as an example. And if she has that little capacity for right and wrong as it pertains to what you show and what you do, we have a problem. I don't know. What's the solution? Let me know what the solution is in the comments. And please, if you got to tell somebody something today, tell them not to saran wrap their child, please. It's not a good idea. As we have approached Friday, happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope that you guys are having some good corned beef and cabbage. I couldn't bring myself to cook it this year. It's like sometimes I cook it and it's like nobody really wants it anyway. But it makes the house smell good and you think you're doing the right thing. But then it's like, does it really sound good to anybody? I don't know. I just didn't do it. With that being said, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. And you guys have got me up to 975. My viewing hours are at 38,200. I think it was the last thing I saw. I can't believe that you guys actually listen to me. Nope, nobody else does. Thank you for all that you do for me. I am so thankful for all that you do and all the support and all of the conversations that we have. I really appreciate the conversation aspect and the ability that we have to talk as mature adults on topics that are definitely worth addressing. So thank you once again, and I'll look forward to what you think is the solution in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.